We are actually going to play an arrangement from 2018. That's pretty scary. Let me see, what are the songs? The songs are The Greatest Show, A Million Dreams, Never Enough, This Is Me, From Now On. How many of you know those songs? You know what? This is scary. So we're going to have solos by Lorraine Jarvis on flute and John Smith on trumpet. And this is from the show, The Greatest Showman. Interesting. No, I missed a couple of solos. Bill actually played the trumpet solo, not John. Give him a little wave there, so we know where you are. Oh, hi, Bill. And then we have Bill Peterson over here who did the euphonium solo. Highly recorded. He's one of our younger members. Well, yeah, I think he was born in the 1930s. I'll let you math people figure it out. And who did I miss? Nobody. Okay, now, this next one, everybody's played this at some time. If you played in a band over the last number of years, you've played this. And everybody remembers Hooked on Classics? Yeah, well, this was about 50 years before that. Now, I'll give you, you have to count how many songs are in this particular piece. I'll give you a hint. There's more than 20 and less than 50. And every time you think you know what song they're playing, forget it. Because it goes like this. I dreamed of Jeannie with a light brown Havana, jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. You'll hear a little march end, you'll hear a little Christmas, you'll hear a little classical, you'll hear a little, all sorts of junk stuff in here. But the tempo doesn't change, just the songs. funny thing about that is if you start to sing along, you know you're in real trouble, and just as you figure out what the song is, it goes on the right turn. So how many people figured out how many songs there were? Because sometimes they played two at once. Now, how many think it was more than 25? Okay. How many think it was more than 30? How many think it was more than 35? You lose. There was actually 30. Now, you have to remember that in case we play it again in another 10 years. Oh boy. Now, this next one is one of my favorite tunes of all time. I know that's a little weird because I played so many songs over the years. How can you have a favorite? Well, this particular song won the Academy Award for the best song that year, and it wasn't a musical. It was a drama. It was like a cop show. It was called The Sandpiper. Anybody figure out what the song is yet? Shadow of Your Smile. And it was way back in 1965. And it surprised everybody, but the funny thing was, in those days, if a really good song came along, all of the dance bands and the small groups and the clubs and that would play it. That doesn't happen so much anymore for two reasons. First off, there's no cocktail lounges that actually have a band. And most of the music that is popular, you wouldn't play it there because people would throw glasses at you. Unless they're really young and then they don't care. They just want it loud enough so they can't talk. They can just sip the drink and then it's okay. So this is a really great arrangement. It's been around a long time and I keep pulling it out. Sometimes the band looks at me and says, oh, not this again, but yeah, this again. A really nice arrangement of Shadow of Your Smile. we're going to have an unsolicited announcement in a minute. You have a bucket. I hope there's beer in it.
I knew the concert would turn into a marathon, so I brought lunch. I'd like to thank you all for coming today and helping us celebrate our 50th anniversary. It's quite an accomplishment. And I'm looking forward to another, not quite 50 years for me, but hopefully for the group. The reason I came up is, first of all, to let you know we have one more number to go, and once we're done that number, we have a little reception. The cake and cookies and coffee and tea, and I think there's some water, are in the green room, which is if you step out into the lobby, it's off on the right-hand side. And about these things, one of our band members, Perry Wong, a tenor sax player, big smile on his face back there, has a son who works on has an importing business, I believe. And he offered us door prizes. And we've ended up with 300 cell phone sanitizers. These are ultraviolet cell phone sanitizers. They open up, you put your cell phone in and you can sterilize it. And this is a larger version of it that you could put a camera or anything else into. Just let me open it up. It doesn't cook anything. It's not a slow cooker and it's not a lunch packet. However, as I say, we have 200 of the small ones and 100 of the big ones. Please take the big ones, because if there's any left over, I think they're going to end up in my house. So please take one. They're the ones in the boxes that are about 12 by 12. The small ones are in a big box all stacked up. They come in two colors, white and green. I don't know how many of each there are. But please help yourself. Take them as you leave. You might want to wait until you've had your refreshments, the coffee, tea, and everything else. And once again, thanks to the many people in the group here who have made this day happen. That program, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. History of the band, a lot of advertising, letters. Keith did all the artwork. Keith does the posters. Keith plays in the clarinet group. Keith plays in the Dixieland group. Keith and his wife Shirley put the refreshments together for us. Does a huge amount. The programs were printed by Grant's son. Has a connection with the printing business, and we got a really, really good deal on the printing of those programs, which, as you could imagine, being full color in 38 pages is an expensive proposition. So please, let us play our last number, and before Heidi gets a hook and drags us all out of here, and enjoy the refreshments after the show. Thank you. Thank you.
Can't read it anymore. A couple of months ago, somebody told me, you've got to watch the new West Side Story. And whenever I watch a remake of a show that was really great, I'm sort of reluctant because I don't think it's going to be as good as the original. But this one actually was, which was really scary. And one of the big differences was, just to show you just how many really talented people that are out there, if you happen to watch this new one, they do all of the singing and all of the dancing. It's not dubbed. So it's all done by the people you're watching, which is really neat. And the music that they played is from the original. They did one minor change of one of the songs, but it wasn't in the melody. It was in the tempo and the way they did it. And you will hear Leslie Scott on flute playing this, and you'll notice that I changed the tempo halfway through. So we make the first part, it's in the church scene, and it's sort of hymn-like. So other than that, this arrangement is the same one we played 40 years ago. Because there's no point in buying the new arrangement, because it's the same music. And that sort of makes sense somewhere along the way. Anyway, what else did I say? No, that's it. Oh yeah, Leslie and John are going to do the solos, and I'm going to try and not get lost. When we get to the end, it's really interesting. There's a little song called America, and it's a bar of 6 and a bar of 3. That part isn't the hard part. The hard part is the people that are playing the secondary part. Anybody can go da 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 da, no problem. But if I tap here, yeah, you can hear it. This is the secondary part. Da 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 da. Okay. Da 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 da. Really? Don't listen too close. Actually, I shouldn't say that. They nailed it the last few times, so this should be no exception. Again, thank you for coming. This will be our last number. And make sure you join us over there. Thank you. As always, they seem to rise to the occasion. So, thank you, everybody. Please come across and enjoy your appointments with us, and we'll let you know when our next concert is. Probably sometime this year. Thank you.